Greetings, beloved in Christ. I want to apologize in advance for the state of my voice. My child decided to share his germs with me. And while they are thankfully not COVID germs, they are still not great. Last week I returned from the House of Bishops spring meeting. It was our first in-person visit in 2.5 years. It was a profound time of prayer, of reconnection, of conversation about the challenges facing church today. It was also a time of deep spiritual learning about myself, for me. You see, I went to the House of Bishops, recovering from a torn ligament in my ankle and tendonitis in my shoulder, and I told myself that I was not going to overdo it. And at the House of Bishops, I discovered pickleball. And even though I went onto the court saying, I'm not going to push anything, I'm not going to try too hard, I learned that I am constitutionally incapable of playing not to win. I went for every ball, for every point. And needless to say, my ankle was not very happy with me. My shoulder was not very happy with me. When I returned home and saw my physical therapist and my orthopedist, they just shook their heads at me. The spiritual learning that I have, that I knew, but that I relearned, is that I am driven to push myself. I push myself hard. I want to be excellent at whatever I do. And sometimes it's hard for me to step away from those expectations of myself, to recognize them as demons and false idols that play into the world's hands. It is often hard for me to stand back and let myself rest in God's hands, confident that my Creator has me. I share this with you because I know you've heard me talk a lot about self-care, and I want you to know I'm not talking from some position of moral purity or being better than anybody else. I talk about it because as a child of God, as a servant of the church, I struggle with caring for myself in body, mind, and spirit. I am learning valuable lessons these days. I am learning that my 50-year-old body doesn't recover as fast as my 30-year-old body. I am learning that I need to be more careful with myself. And I know all of this will be great fodder for my conversations with my spiritual director and my therapist when I meet with them next. But I want you to know that the work of ministry is infinite, and that there are lots of messages out in the world that bombard us about what it means to be productive, what it means to be useful. And I want to remind you that our greatest task in this world is not being productive or being useful. Our calling as the baptized is to be faithful. And part of that faithfulness is loving God. And part of that faithfulness is loving our neighbor. And part of that faithfulness is loving ourselves.